You right, everybody? Just a quick one for you all, for Plymouthfenns. It's just in a video saying the way to think. One is none, two is one, or two is one is none. You sort of answered it yourself, Plymouthfenns. You said yourself, well, I carry this. Do I carry 3 ferrocene rods? Do I carry? You ended up carrying 3 lighters, at least 2 torches, right? I go by a rule of 3s. I think in 2s, as in one well kitted out man could carry 2 men, right? And then I try to kit wise, I do it in 3s, right? But 1 is none, 2 is 1, right? So take away that. I go by a rule of 3s again on the layer system, right? I have a pocket kit, something that I wear on my belt, could be something like that, and then a kit, something in my bag. 3 layers, right? So therefore, you do end up carrying 1, 2, 3 cutting devices, right? That's without adding in a saw. But if you just took, that combination, your pocket knife, your belt knife, and your saw, 3 ways of cutting. 1 is none, 2 is 1, right? That's where that comes from, and it's a true saying. It's a very true saying, right? Me personally, Plymouthfenns, right? I've got a pocket knife looped on my belt. I've then got a pouch from a belt with a larger Victorinox in. So there's 2 Victorinoxes, pocket knives. I then carry a larger pocket knife. Now I've got a preference for locking blades being on larger knives, even though they're laws, right? Just because I don't want to cut your own fingers off, right? So there's 3 pocket knives. Along those lines, I would have a small knife like that, right? Or a pocket blade knife, and then I would have a larger knife like that, full tang or larger bladed knife, in any kit bag that I'm carrying, depending on what I'm doing. Could be a saw in there, okay? So that's the way I work it. So again, you're ending up with 3. There's nothing wrong with carrying 3 ways of doing things or 2 ways of doing things. For instance, the pocket knives that I've got in the little pouches that you get for the Victorinox ones, they've all got a whistle and a ferrocene rod on them, right? There's 1 ferrocene rod. These are relatively new knives, but you've seen what I do with my knives. There'll be a ferrocene rod on any sheathed knife, right? So there'll be 2 ferrocene rods. I'd have at least 1 ferrocene rod in a fire kit, and I'd have another ferrocene rod in my pocket. Redundancy, do you think that's mental? I don't care. I really don't care what people think. I'd rather carry 5 ways of making fire than just carrying 1 way of making fire any day of the week. And that's without going on what I do know, you know. And if you look at anybody who's experienced in the fire kits, they'll have at least 3 ways of starting fire without going into being able to cobble something together or gangster something up to make fire. Again, you know, Andy down there at Mad Dog Survival, I think he'll agree, and just watch him with the bow drill and things like that, or making natural fires, you know, that's the way you've got to go. It's just normal standard procedure, you know. Then if you think about it, right, you've got your stuff in your pockets when you go out. I know you think along the same lines as us lads, just like people who are into survival and long-term bushcrafting. I know you carry like a survival tin type thing. There's 2 layers of protection, and then if you take your bag or your belt kit, you'll have another bit of kit on there. So you would do it, you just do it as a norm. Like everybody goes preppers. I think almost everybody's a prepper, because you buy your food, don't you? You know, you buy 2 or 3 days in advance food. That's prepping, isn't it? It's just prepping. But one is definitely none, preferably three. And I mean that, preferably three. You know, limitations, three saws, but if you think about it, one of the main reasons why I carry a Victorinox is not only are you getting quality at an affordable price, but the saws on those, you know, they're actually a saw. You can get a fair bit done with a little pocket knife like that. So there's one saw. I always take a larger knife with me, and any Victorinox knife that I've got to take out has got a saw on it. There's two saws, and I often carry, I carry a Wolverine over the back. Oh, this is out of, I thought they could go together rather than have better with a companion. But I'd carry a folding saw, depending on what I was doing, right? And then I've got a bow saw that I'll probably take with me, or take the means to make a bow saw out in the field, you know. So standard procedure, absolute standard procedure, you know. You could possibly, if you look through your kit, you possibly end up with a few more knives than you think. You know, along those lines, as one is known, you've got your food knife, food prep knife, like I say, your tool knife, your belt knife, little digging about knife, your personal pocket knife, and you might have a kit, something like that, you know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. Look at, like I said, looking at anybody who knows a thing or two about it, looking at fire kits especially, that's how I think you can judge somebody's, where they're coming from on a fire kit, right? These people who have small little fire kits, yeah, you know, fair enough. But I'm big on fire kit. I don't mind carrying a fair-sized fire kit. That's not to make up for my lack of ability. That's because it's majorly important when you have to start a fire. You should have multiple ways of starting a fire, because it's just, you know, it's one of life's essentials when you're out and about. You know, you'll be surprised. But it's a big thing. And like I say, I'd rather have 5 or 6 ferrocerium rods than just one like that, or one ferrocerium rod any day of the week. I'm prepared to carry the few little extra ounces it takes. But a layered system, you cannot go wrong. Like I say, you'd have your pocket kit, Boy Scout pocket kit. You might have like a kit bag kit, you know what I mean? Like a belt kit or something like that. And then in your kit bag yourself, like a shoulder bag, a bigger bag. Standard practice, mate, to have more than one thing. And not you that, it spreads the load, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You wouldn't take a toffee hammer to break a building down, just like you wouldn't take a sledgehammer to crack open a nut. You know what I mean? Horses for courses. But yeah, again, got to thank Andy for putting me on them. I think they're the businessman, definitely. Just a quick one. You mentioned something about time also. Time's important. It's quite important. Try to get yourself an analog watch, right? Because you can do a bit more than an analog watch than you can with a digital watch. But back in the day, the norm was to have a dual function. You'd have an analog with a, like I've got there, like a digital watch, and then you can set one or the other. You know what I mean? But you can use the watch face for navigation at the very least. You can get it to shine as well, also. You know what I mean? So there's different things, but time is important. Time is important. And I'll let you into a little secret in my personal kit where this stuff's going to go, which I'll show you at one time. I think I carry at least one wind-up pocket watch, which I keep in with my compasses, right? And that's an old-fashioned TikTok, but it keeps good time. Some free gift or something, but it's a half decent. And there's generally a backup, just a digital watch. There's a backup digital watch. But you should always take a radio and all with you. Take a little radio. That's good for morale and timekeeping. But you can get a bit turned around, you know what I mean, and forget yourself, and little things can become difficult. And it's good to keep a little bit of self-discipline and on top of things. But there you are. Just answer you, Plymouthfenns. Quick for you. Standard practice to have more than one thing in your kit. Just standard practice. Layer yourself, you know, pockets, belt, coat, you know what I mean, your coat pockets in your bag. You've got to at least always try to have some sort of kit on you. Alright mate, all the best. Give Dopey Dog a stroke for me.